This is our third trip in the van. This trip is kind of dedicated to really honing in on what exactly we want in the van, where we want it, and kind of mentally planning it out so that when we get home, we can officially start putting in the floor, and then as time goes on, continue converting the van. So we are in West Virginia right now. We are at Seneca Rocks in West Virginia, and we are about to do a hike up to the top of Seneca Rocks, which we've been trying to do for, I feel like, a year and a half or two now. So we're really excited, and then we're gonna be camping tonight.
We heard that it was great views down here and the leaves were perfect, wasn't too far from us, but throughout this trip we'll show you a little bit of Seneca Rocks and then tell you a little bit about how we're gonna upgrade the van as we go along. Quick recap that we started with, well, first a tent, then trying to stay in our SUV, then a teardrop camper, now a van. So I think we have a good idea of what we want to do with this van.
It seems to be absolute peak fall here. The bright leaves are insane. The entire drive down here was stunning. And now we're just walking through a sea of yellow with the beautiful Seneca Rocks in front of us.
As we're working our way toward the top here, I just want to start by saying the biggest issues we had with the tent was, one, having to set it up, which took time, and two, hard to use in the winter because it's cold and small and we didn't have a really expensive warm weather tent.
With the SUV setup, we thought it would be better in colder temperatures because we had a little bit more protection, but then we quickly found out that number one, that wasn't necessarily true, and number two, it was too small for me because I'm claustrophobic. Oh, and you still had some setup involved with it. It wasn't as easy as just having everything set up already. You had to do some setup for it.
As we get higher up this mountain, it's getting windier, so hopefully you can hear me. But after we tried out SUV camping, we switched to a teardrop. Well, technically two teardrops. The teardrop solved some of our issues with setup. We could just plop it in place, which was great, but it still wasn't perfectly insulated. A little warmer than the car, I would say. And it was a little bit of a pain to tow around. And part of the problem was our car wasn't strong enough to tow it. So then we looked into vans. I think we made it.
Yeah, we just need to be a little careful, okay?
This way's pretty easy.
Yeah, actually this is fine. Like, I'm not too worried about this part.
That's my backpack.
Oh, is that gonna be me? Well, we know people have been up here because this is very smooth. Okay, that's a little like knee jaggering, jittering. What would that be? Knee cluttering?
Shaking.
Knee shaking.
Need help?
I feel like I'm rock climbing. What's the best plan of action here?
You got this.
Okay. And that led us to finally purchasing a van after all of our camping experiences. The van checks off all of the boxes. It checks off an easy setup because there's basically no setup at all. It checks off temperature control because we're able to control it whether it's hot or cold. And honestly, it's just easier just getting around. We don't have to detach it from a vehicle. Everything's all encompassed in one, and it has been so good in the few weeks that we've had it so far.
So we're at the top of this mountain. As you can see, I did throw up the drone for a second because I really wanted a drone shot up here because it looks so cool. But as you can hear, it is windy up here.
We took a risk.
Very windy, and almost lost the drone for the second time in 2 trips. We recovered it, but it's scary. But it's so cool up here. 360 views, literally, and you're on like this knife edge top.
And it's fall.
And then the leaves are changing. Can't beat it.
Our time up top was a little short-lived just because of the wind is crazy. We're gonna head back down here and get to camp and then cook a good old cast iron fire pizza.
All right, once we get back down this mountain and to our campsite, me and Erica are gonna explain a little bit about what our plan is for this van. We have some good ideas, and based off of our other experiences with camping, we have a good idea of what we want. We'll tell you that, but if you have any good ideas of what to add to this van, comment it below.
I have something to say.
What?
Another perk to having the van is there are some dark clouds coming in right now, which everybody knows means rain coming in. And I'm not worried about it because we have a van, so.
Exactly.
Get a van. These are the yellowest yellows I've ever seen. Well, it took us probably a little over an hour to find a campground. It's a long story, but we're finally here. Josh is starting up the fire and it is 100% pitch black outside. One of the things that we had to decide on is whether or not we wanted to get a mini fridge or go the cooler route. And so we already decided that we wanted to go the cooler route, and we got a cooler. It's very large. It's what, like 75 quarts or something like that?
I believe so.
This is gonna be our pretty long-term solution for at least the next few years, and then maybe way down the line we'll consider getting a fridge, but for now this is perfect, and we're actually planning on hiding this within a bench somewhere situated over here. The reason why we chose a cooler for now instead of an electric one is because an electric one just pulls way too much power and energy from the battery that we have, and from our experience already with the electric cooler that we had, it drains the battery really quickly despite the fact that we have solar panels.
All right, you hear that noise? That's rain. The rain's coming down. The fire didn't work at all, but the perk of having a van is that you can just move the party to the inside when it's raining, and we're gonna try to do some pizzas in here. Erica already mentioned what we want to do with the cooler, why we got a non-electric one to start. We don't want to upgrade our whole power system because we already have one going, so we're doing what Erica said. Now, the next thing where we want to do, right now we have our little kitchen area up against the wall, but in the future, when we design this, we want it to be near the door so that we can be cooking and looking at the scenery, as well as letting any smoke like vent out while we're cooking or anything like that, and have a sink right near the door, because whenever we want to shower, we aren't planning on putting a full shower in here, but we'll get a sink with a hose with a nozzle that can swivel, and then we can stand right outside the van and like kind of shower ourselves off, because when we did our Montana road trip, it was a lot of not showering. So we want to do something better than nothing.
That worked.
Yeah, it did. It actually kind of surprisingly worked. Get a van.
How many times do you think we could say get a van in this video? Josh talked about this section, how this is going to be our little kitchen area, but over here we knew two things. Obviously we needed a cooler fridge situation for food, and we also, since going on our Glacier National Park trip, know for a fact that we want a toilet. So we're like, how do we incorporate that into the van so that we can add seating spaces? We're gonna have a bench here that will cover up the toilet, so it'll be like a nice looking wood bench with like a cushion, and then underneath you can lift it and the toilet will be there. And then on this side there will be a longer bench, and that's where our cooler will be, that will be able to hopefully pull out as a drawer, so then we can have like two people sit here, and if there's more people in the van, they can sit on top of the cooler. And then right in between the two benches we're gonna put a little table so that we can have it as, you know, somewhere to sit and eat, or I can also use it as an extra space for like cutting in the kitchen area if I needed it. So that's the general plan here, and then of course we'll also have cabinets right here, two right here. I'm so excited to eat. It is almost ready. We're just letting it steam a little bit more. Josh is setting up a little movie over there.
Can't wait till we get the electric done so we just have outlets and not a power cord.
Yeah. That looks so good. Banana peppers top everything. Plop it on. Oh my gosh. Wow. Oh, that cheese pull.
The last little piece that we're going to leave you for tonight with our van is the layout. We're thinking is leave some indents for our head and our feet so we can completely lay out, because if we have insulation in walls then it'll be really tight to lay horizontal with the van. And then up above our feet we'll have some cabinets essentially that we can put clothes in or anything really. Most people put clothes above their bed, but I mentioned having it in the open area so that we could get changed there easier. But one idea I did have is have the cabinets be on like a big hinge so it could swing out over to the open area and then you could access it from there. I don't know if we're gonna do that. I'm guessing you'd need a pretty big, like a heavy duty hinge, and it's probably expensive, so I'm not sure if we'll do that, but would be cool. And then above our heads, we'll probably just do some shelving, some type of outlet maybe so we can charge our stuff, but not too much above our heads so that we still have good headroom. Underneath our feet cabinet area, maybe I'll have some type of mount for like an iPad or something. And then Erica and I have been talking about in the future maybe getting a projector in here to like shoot it across the van on our curtains or something. So if we have friends hanging out, we can do like a movie night, or if it's just me and Erica. Yeah, or if it's just me and Erica, we can just like watch a movie at the end of a long day or long hiking day or something. So a lot of fun ideas going. A little bit last night, everything's wet again, but we're trying fire number 2 because we got some dry wood, and I'm gonna do it a little better I think this time, hopefully. We'll
see. One thing that I am dreaming of for the van is to have some sort of espresso situation set up. So I already have added an AeroPress to my Christmas list. If you know me, you know I love making my morning coffee with my espresso machine. And I feel like that's a little luxury in the van that would just make the van experience go from already like 100% to like a 200%. Josh has the bacon on the cast iron over the fire. I cannot wait to eat. This is the best part about camping. I feel like the morning when you have breakfast on the fire, especially when it's crisp fall air. I think my favorite season to camp is definitely fall.
Oh, do I get a fork?
Thanks, babe. And I hope it's good. Oh yeah. Oh, it's cold.
As we're cleaning up the fire and getting ready to go, I want to mention some of the details that are more on the outside of the vehicle that we're going to do. Erica already mentioned our kitchenette area will go here with our swivel sink, so we could be standing here and getting a shower. But on the back side of that kitchenette area, I want to put 2 kind of ports for water so we can fill up our water jug from the outside without having to pull it out, but also have the capability to pull the whole water jug out if there's a spigot far away. But if we can just fill it up from right here, I feel like that could be nice. And then on the back side of the van, we want to have our little garage area. Over here, we'll probably do the battery, which is right now just sitting there. We want to mount it up on the wall. The middle section will be maybe like a big pull-out drawer so we can get to all of our stuff, and that's where we'll store like a bin of wood maybe, or some axes and tools or other little things that we need. And then on this side, maybe just more storage. We haven't really thought about what to do on this side yet. Maybe more electronics. We don't really know yet. But
or hiking stuff there.
Hiking stuff there, shoe rack there maybe. On these doors, you can kind of already see where a panel would go, but my thought was do like a fabric covered panel that just snaps in place to cover that up, make it look a little bit better.
And then just a few more details, like the small things. Of course, we're gonna have a fan. Then we're thinking in this section, so again, kitchen counter, seating area. And this middle section will be blocked off, but we'll either do drawers or cabinets to store like bigger pots and pans, our cast iron, more kitchen stuff. We're just trying to get as much storage as possible in this thing. We were heading to Spruce Knob and we couldn't help but get out of the car because I know we said yesterday these are the yellowest yellows we've ever seen on that hike, but no. These are the yellowest yellows we've ever seen. The entire drive, every single tree is yellow or red. And it is it's the best fall we've ever seen.
We are at the highest point in West Virginia, Spruce Knob. There's an observation tower about 900 feet away. So we're gonna walk to that. But on our way up, like, it was gorgeous, sun was shining, the trees were pretty, and then as you get higher and higher, the fog rolled in, the trees disappeared, they kind of turned to pine trees, and it is windy up here. The temperature dropped from like, I think 40 or 50 down to, it's 30 something up here.
34.
So, yeah, 30, it's freezing up here, so we're gonna go check this out really quickly.
We're climbing the observation tower. I don't think we're gonna be able to see a thing though, because it's so foggy.
Can't see anything, but normally it'd probably be crazy cool. But we are currently the highest people in West Virginia, planes and helicopters excluded. There's no one taller than us right now in West Virginia.
We missed the sign that says it. Spruce Knob sits at an elevation of 4,863 feet and is the highest point in all of West Virginia. I wish we could have seen it. Still a cool experience. I'm glad that we did it.